conversion Gregorian to lunar calendar and Javanese calendar of vice versa. And this program supported by several study programs in UINSA. First is Department of Islamic Community Development. Second, Department of Religious Studies. Third, Department of Islamic Philosophy. Fourth, Department of Astronomy. Fifth, Department of Marine Science. And sixth, Department of Mathematics. Thank you for your support, and thank you for you have chosen UIN Sunan Ampel as your destination for learning about Islam and about history and culture of Islamic New Year. Enjoy the program. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Well, thank you very much. Excellency, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. The following activity, Mr. Kamal will lead. Please.
Thank you, Ms. Alia. Hello, everyone. How are you doing? I hope you all fine and energetic. My name is Kamal. We'll be guiding you for the next session. And for this session, we have three parts: the introduction to the theme, presentation, and quizzes, and then the last is closing. It is our pleasure to host you in this program. As I can see from the screen here, I see you come from different places. So before we start, I think it would be better to get to know each other, just in brief. So the host and co-host will spotlight or pin your video. When you appear on the screen, all you have to do is please mention your name and where you come from. Okay, to give you an example, let me start first. My name is Kamal. I am from Surabaya, Indonesia. Next, please.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mark Laurent Arvia Verde, and I am from the Philippines.
Yes, next.
Hey everyone, I am Patrick Ives Mendones and I'm from Cainta Rizal, Philippines.
Okay, good. Next, please.
Hello.
Yes, please mention your name.
Yes. I'm sorry. Good afternoon.
Hi. Good afternoon. My name is Afilak Widya and I'm from Surabaya, Indonesia, and I'm also from UINSA, Surabaya.
Ah, very nice. The next.
Hello, my name is Liz and I'm from Singapore.
Oh, Singapore. Nice to know you. Yes, next.
Hello. Hello. Good afternoon, all. My name is Eldefonso Maya from Timor-Leste. Thank you.
Okay, Timor-Leste.
Yes.
Can speak Indonesia?
Yes, I can speak Indonesia because I school in Indonesia.
Oke, apa kabar? Baik.
Pak.
Oke, terima kasih.
Sama-sama,
Next,
Pak.
please.
Hi everyone,
My name is Thitnut Kechachana, or you can call me Utopa. I'm from Thailand, Ampel University. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. What time is it now there?
Now it's like 4:40, 38.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Next,
thank you. Nice to
please.
meet you.
Hello, I'm Karen Natanes, and I'm also from the Philippines.
Thank you. Next. We have a lot of here.
Hello, I'm Michelle Atas, and I'm from the Philippines.
From Singapore.
Philippines.
Oh, Philippines. Okay, good. Okay, we choose the one. Okay, as to mana nih? Ini ya. Nih. Kan. Yes,
Assalamualaikum. I am Ahmed Mufti Khazin from Madura Island, Indonesia.
Ah, okay. Madura Island. Okay, last one. Yeah.
Hi everyone, I'm Natasha. I'm from Surabaya, Indonesia. Nice to meet you all.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Now, let's go into the topic. This is the serious one. So, as have been explained previously by Director, Indonesia is a host of hundreds million Muslims, making it as the largest Muslim country in the world. Islam came to Indonesia centuries ago. For Islam, there were some religions that had existed in Indonesia. So this situation makes Indonesian cultures mix up between local tradition and Islam. The interplay between Islam and the traditionalism create the specific way of how the Muslim using their calendar. As have been demonstrated previously on the short video profile by the State University of Sunan Ampel, Surabaya, or as known as UINSA. UINSA has 9 faculties with 45 departments, combining Islamic and secular studies. In the following, as introduction to our topic today, we will watch 2 short footages of description on religious diversity in Indonesia as field of studies offered at UINSA. So the first video will be presented by the member of Department of Islamic Community Development, the Faculty of Communication, and then next is a collaborative video prepared by the Department of Religious Studies and the Department of Islamic Philosophy. Please enjoy the videos.
Department of Islamic Community Development is part of Da'wah and Communication faculty. This department doing community engagement. Department pay attention to the local values in all forms of culture. Islamic Community Development has 4 profiles. First, expertise in community development. Second, social engineer. Third, social researcher. And social consultant. The spirit of togetherness and participation and collectiveness while doing empowerment is the key succeed for social transformation. The Islamic Community Development Studies, while doing community empowerment, pay attention to the local values and all forms of culture, such as the ritual of Grebek Suro in the village of Sumber Mujur in the mountain of Semeru. The spirit of togetherness and respect for ancestral values is part of the social capital that grows and binds the life of the people on the slope of Semeru. At the Grebek Suro event, they made big tumpeng and 1,000 ingkung, grilled pork chicken with Indonesian recipe, which is the symbolic meaning of Mount Semeru, where they live and work. The tumpengs parades by residents are collected in a file near a bamboo forest and then eaten together. The ritual of eating together is part of sharing fortune to others, praying together, and giving joy to others. The acceptance of cultural expressions is part of Islamic teachings that call for someone understanding and learning from other culture. In the Quran, Surah Al-Hujurat, verse 13.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ya ayyuhan nasu inna khalaqnakum min dhakarin wa untha wa ja'alnakum shu'uban wa qabaila lita'arafu. Inna akramakum 'indallahi atqakum. Innallaha 'alimun khabir.
The meaning, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, O mankind, we have created you male and female, and have made you nation and tribes, that you may know one another. Indeed, the noblest of you in the sight of Allah is the best in conduct. Indeed, Allah is knower and aware.
Thank you. Very nice video dedicated by the faculty members of our faculty. I'm sure you are now, you have more curious to learn more about some detail of Islamic New Year in Indonesia. So in the next step, we are going to talk more about the topic. Therefore, I would like to invite a professor of Islamic Studies from UINSA. He is sitting in many strategic positions in Indonesia, such as General Secretary of Nahdlatul Ulama. Nahdlatul Ulama is the biggest Islamic organization in the world, chapter East Java. He is also now as a Dean of the Faculty of Political Science at INSA. His name is Ahmad Muzaki. As you can hear from the name, he is Javanese, not Japanese, Muzaki. Anyone from Japanese? Yeah, little bit similar with Japanese name. Okay, well, I would like to welcome Professor Muzaki. The time is yours for the next 60 minutes to 75 minutes.
Okay, thanks, the host. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. The Excellency Rector of the State Islamic University of Sunan Ampel, Surabaya, Indonesia, Professor Master Hilmi, and all the audience. For this presentation, I'd like to talk a little bit about the history and also the history of Islamic New Year and also how it relates to the local condition, local culture of different regions in Indonesia. Let's say I'm giving you an overview for the first time about the history of Islamic calendar, and then after that I'll talk about how then Islam sees the local tradition in different regions of the world, and then how the local traditions in Indonesia, especially a Japanese local tradition, makes use of Islamic calendar celebration, Islamic New Year celebration for the ritual and also cultural festivals across the community in Java. Our presentation. I'll give you my PowerPoint slide just to give you a better sense of how the history of Islamic calendar can be understood well. Okay. Next slide, please. Okay. The Islamic calendar, you may call it in Arabic at-Taqwim al-Hijri. You may get a better sense of this notion, the notion of Islamic calendar through different names. People may call the Hijri, the lunar Hijri, or the Muslim or Arabic calendar. Why they call a Muslim calendar? Because this is the first time that Muslim community formulate the notion of Islamic calendar. But then the debates were there across the idea when to start the date for Islamic calendar. For some, the Islamic calendar start from the birthday of the Prophet Muhammad. And then some others would say, no, not the birthday of the Prophet Muhammad, because we haven't had any, you see the sound, this is very local sound of ice cream in Indonesia. For some others, they would say, no, it was not the birthday of the Prophet Muhammad. Then you can make it at the start of the day for Islamic calendar, because there's another option for that. That is the death day of the Prophet Muhammad, because people still commemorate the death day of someone of the revered or the saint one, and that is why for the second part of the scholars would say the Islamic calendar would start by the death day of the Prophet Muhammad. The third one, still some others would argue that the Islamic calendar start from the date of the Prophet Muhammad's hijrah from Mecca to Medina. And the controversy, the debates over when to start Islamic calendar happened or arose in the era of the initial years after the death of the Prophet Muhammad. And then it was the Caliph Umar bin Khattab, the second Caliph, one of the colleagues of the Prophet Muhammad, then initiated the idea that Islamic calendar started from the death of the Prophet Muhammad's hijrah from Mecca to Medina, and people came to the agreement at the time that the Islamic calendar start from the date of the Prophet Muhammad's hijrah from Mecca to Medina, and that is why the first day of the Islamic calendar, the first of Muharram, then identical with the first day of Hijriah of Islamic calendar. This is the idea of the initial history of Islamic calendar in Islam and also Muslim and also the Arab world. Next. Okay. The question is, what is that for? Why then Muslims need to have an Islamic calendar? It is a lunar calendar consisting of 12 lunar months in a year of 354 or 355 days. It differs from the solar month a calendar. If you have a normal or regular calendar, you may have 364 or 365 days, while Islam calendar consisting of 354 or 355 days. It's 10 days less than the solar systems of calendar. And people, our Muslim community, see the Islamic calendar is quite significant. They need it to determine the proper days of Islamic holidays and rituals. And also they would like to have Islamic calendar to determine the annual period of fasting at the proper time for the Hajj, because Islamic calendar is not only for determining mondial purposes, but also for determining the days for their rituals and for the let's say so technical terms for their rituals in having their religion in practice. Next. I would give you an idea, a better sense of how then Muslims use the Islamic calendar for rituals. In Islam, Muslims have 5 pillars, and Muslims need to have Islamic calendar just to determine the days, at least for the pillar number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5. Because pillar number 1 is statement of faith, or Muslims call shahada. There is no determined time for that. You can have it, you can mention, you can state your faith, your shahada anytime, anyway, irrespective of the time. But if you would like to perform, to spend the zakah to perform your prayer and to observe your fasting and also the Hajj, you need to have a certain times determined from the beginning of the year. And that is why they need to have Islamic calendar, because the time for spending the zakat is quite limited. So it's quite stipulated within the month of Ramadan, and also it happens also to the fasting. That is why at the a day before Ramadan, Muslims gather in one place to see whether tomorrow the weather tomorrow will be the first time for the first day for the Ramadan and also for spending zakat. So Muslims understand that the Islamic calendar is quite important for the ritual. That is why they would like to have Islamic calendar as soon as possible after the death of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Next. Next slide. Okay. Now, I'd like to give you an idea how to depict Islam then, and also in its relation to local tradition, because Islam grew up in the Saudi Arabia, especially in Mecca and Medina, and then as the host, Mr. Kamal said, that Islam came to Indonesia. People say just around 8 to 9 100 years ago and the like. But then the local tradition of Muslims or community in Indonesia are quite different from that in the Middle East, especially in the Saudi Arabia. And then the thing is that how to depict Islam there, and how to depict Islam in its relation to local tradition. So I'd like to give you a better sense of how to understand the relation between Islam and local tradition in the following parts of my presentation. Next. Okay. I'm sure all of you then understand, quite familiar enough with this kind of pictures. Okay. These two are the franchise foods coming from the States, KFC and McDonald's. I went to Thailand, but then when I came to Bangkok for the first day I came to Bangkok, I'd like to have a McDonald's and KFC. And then I got the taste of let's say the sauce, yeah. It's quite different from that we can have it in Indonesia. The taste of, let's say, tomato sauce and something like that in Thailand, it's quite tasty and also a little bit sweet and hot. But you can't find this kind of taste for the tomato sauce in Indonesia because Indonesia has a different taste of having tomato sauce in comparison to Thailand. It was my ironic story. The first day I came to Australia, when I spent my 7 years in Australia, I flew from Surabaya to Canberra. It takes around, at that time it took around 10 hours. And then the first hour, at the first day I came to Canberra, my friend of mine then took me to KFC. And then I asked the staff in the crew in KFC, can I have a fried chicken with rice? What? Yes, fried chicken with rice. What? Yes, fried chicken with rice. 3 times request to the staff. And then the staff said, what? This is the menu. You can have one, choose one out of them. Because nothing in the list of menu, they sell fried chicken with rice. Why I ask fried chicken with rice? Because in my experience here in Surabaya of Indonesia, anyone can have the fried chicken, whether you go to KFC or McDonald's, you may have the fried chicken along with rice, because for Indonesian people, for Japanese people like me, even though you have fried chicken, a kilo, for example, a bundle of fried chicken, as long as you haven't had the rice, you may think I haven't had the meals, because for Japanese people, having meals means have to have a rice along with the fried chicken. And then, so my point is, anywhere around the world, if you go to KFC, if you go to McDonald's, you may you can have fried chicken. But if you go to Indonesia, KFC and McDonald's sell along fried chicken also rice, yeah, because let's say the businessman, the owner, and also the staff of KFC and McDonald's completely understand the local taste, local tradition of Indonesian community, that they have. When they have the meals, they have to have rice along with fried chicken. But if you go to the States, to the state of America, even though you go around and around and around within 50 states in the state of America, you can't find KFC and McDonald's selling rice. So the point is, there is a kind of universalities, and also there is also another kind of particularities. Particularities mean, for Indonesian people, you have to have rice, but not in the States of America, or even in European and in Australian community. But they sell rice because they try to translate the idea of fried chicken to the local taste of Indonesia. It also happens to religion. It also happens to religion. That is why, in terms of how people then celebrate Islamic New Year or Islamic calendar, you may find it very differently. You may find here in Indonesia the expressions of commemoration of Islamic calendar, but you can't find it around the world, especially in the Middle East population. I give you an idea how then the local people celebrate the local tradition, celebrate the Islamic New Year, Islamic New Calendar in relation to the local tradition. Next. Okay, these are the normative basis for Islam, right? The Holy Quran, written in significant appreciation to translation, also the Hadith, and the third one is the great superstructure coming out of the interpretation and also legislation by Muslim scholars. We call them ulama. Okay, next. Now, in Indonesian context, we basically this is to simplify the different kinds of Muslim communities in Indonesia. People say there are some, we call them traditionalists, and some others we call them modernists. Traditionalists are best represented by the Nahdlatul Ulama members, and I'm part of this group. And also the modernist Muslims and people would say that the best representation of modernist Muslims in Indonesia are by Muhammadiyah, the second largest Muslim organization in Indonesia. Nahdlatul Ulama is around 90 million members, and Muhammadiyah is around 40 to 45 million, the membership of Muhammadiyah in Indonesia. It's quite large. Probably these two Muslim organizations is the largest Muslim organization around the world. Next. Okay, people commemorate or celebrate the first year of Islamic calendar, and then by performing the dua, performing the prayer. They perform the prayer at the late afternoon of the end day of the Hijjah, the end day of Islamic calendar, and then also they perform the dua, the prayer at the first day of Muharram, the first month of Islamic calendar. These are the dua, they are the text of the prayer. Next. Okay, and some also, especially for lay Japanese people, the transition between the night and the day of the first day of Muharram, the first day of Islamic calendar, to strengthen the mythical power for non-religious rituals. So they take the transition of the Islamic calendar for strengthening the mythical power. They try to understand that the transition of day and night of the Islamic calendar just for mythical purposes. And these are some of the rituals. They take, it's like spears and the like, and then they do some rituals in the transition between the night and the day of Muharram or the Islamic calendar. Next. And also we can see from slide people in different regions of different cities across Indonesia commemorate the first day of Muharram, the first day of Islamic calendar, through different expressions of cultural tradition. But one point I would like to say, even though you have a different expressions of, you can find different expressions of Islamic calendar, the first day of Islamic calendar, but one point we can make that they explore through a communal meeting. See here in Yogyakarta, they have a mubang benteng, or benteng is like castle, a castle in Yogyakarta, and you may also have a kirap kebo bule within the castle in Surakarta in Central Java, and also you may have festival Tabot in Bengkulu in Sumatra, and also Leduk Suro in Magetan in East Java, Grebek Suro in Ponorogo, and also Hoyak Tabuk in Pariaman in West Sumatra. Minang people, it's quite different, different ethnic from Japanese community. So one point I would like to make, they come to one, they flock in one place to commemorate communally of the transition between the last day of Islamic calendar and the first day of new Islamic calendar. Next. Now, can anybody open up the Google, please? And then put the question, and then how, and you brought the idea, who initiated the integration of Japanese into Islamic calendar? Because in the past, Japanese people, they have their own system of calendar, but then when there was a period within Islamic kingdom, Japanese kingdom, there was someone who initiated integration of Japanese calendar into the Islamic one. Okay, Patrick. Oh, nice. Nice, Patrick Sultan Agung. Thank you. I've got it from the chat room. Patrick put the name is Sultan Agung. Very nice. Okay, next. Now, can you open up your YouTube, please? And then type the phrase number 1 and then SURO in YouTube channel. Okay, in YouTube channel. 1 SURO, 1 space SURO, because after the integration of Japanese into Islamic calendar, then people understand that Islamic calendar is Suro. Okay, Islamic calendar for Javanese people is surah. And you may find in YouTube channel, if you type one and then space SURO, satu surah, first surah, then what you can find in a YouTube channel is like short videos, movies which are identical with mythical aspects of life. Next. Okay, these are the examples of short video, movies, and the like in relation to the celebration of Islamic New Year. Can you help me, please, to play, let's say, a short video, just an example of how people then make a video in relation to Islamic calendar.
Ini kan anak pertama kalian. Kelahirannya harus spesial.
Makasih ya, Mas.
Kamu jagain ibu ya. Jangan rewel kalau ayah lagi nggak ada.
Banyak sekali melatihnya, Bu.
Sebentar lagi ini kan malam satu suro. Ya semuanya tuh harus disiapkan.
Siapa di situ? Mas Bayu.
Sakit yang Mas maksud itu, banyak orang yang mati terbakar. Suro adalah hari rayanya makhluk halus, lebarannya para setan.
Better to stop. Okay, these are the trailer of the movie Satu Suro. People identify the transition of the last day of Islamic calendar to the first day of Islamic calendar through mythical aspects of life. And that is why the official trailer Satu Surah is quite familiar 3 years ago. People then, let's say, take the Satu Surah as an example how then the local people in Java relates the idea of Islamic calendar with the Japanese one, and then they put in one place with the idea of mythical life, and at the end of the official trailer of Satu Surah movie, you can see people understand that Satu Surah is the Satan's festival, the Satan's festival, the mythical aspects of life. See, the lady in the process of laboring, in the process of delivering the baby, they still think the mythical components of life within the hospital. Okay, next. But next slide. And you may type Satu Surah in let's say in the Google, and then you would see Satu Surah is quite identical with the mythical life. But then how then the celebration of Islamic calendar within the pandemic COVID-19, then the local government, let's say, block in some of the tourist destination just to avoid people from coming to the place, just to reduce the risk of the COVID infection into the wider parts of the community. And but to stop to this point, and then we can also have a discussion if you want to. Thank you. Thanks, host, and you may go ahead with another schedule. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Very interesting presentation from Professor Muzaki. Thank you. Now I would like to open opportunity. Should there any question from all the participants that will be delivered directly to Professor Muzaki about the topic, please write down your name on the chat box, and then we will appoint your video on the screen. Anyone interested to deliver question, please write down your name, or you can raise your hand. Okay, there's one from Mark Lauren. Yeah, Bill. Can you please, the host, spotlight the video of Mark Lauren? Where is Mark Lauren? Okay. Yeah, Mark Lauren, can you
Hello.
ask the question? Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. I mean, good day. So I am just curious on how does Islam in general views individuals who are a part of the LGBTQ+ community?
Yeah, very interesting question. Professor Muzaki, would you like to directly answer this question, or we with another question?
Okay, thanks, Mark. Very interesting question, even though it's not under the frame of Islamic New Year or Islamic calendar idea of discussion. But then the principle that Islam really appreciate all humankind, even though you believe in other than Islam, still Islam appreciate you. The difference in ethnicity, the difference in religion, the difference in tradition, in culture and the like, still Islam appreciate all. The question is, how then some Muslims see LGBT, for example, yeah, LGBT. The thing is that sometimes people see the expression of LGBT sexual orientation, for example, is quite different from the global picture, the whole picture of Muslims. And Islam also has a distinct idea, a distinct teaching. How do you have to perform? How do you have to have your sexual orientation and the like? Of course, we have different measures in the local or different Muslim communities across LGBT orientation and the like. But in the principle, Islam appreciate whatever the difference is, whatever the situation you have in a real situation. But if you have a problem in the local community, for example, then we have to deal the problem with specific treatment, with specific measurement. Might be different from one to another because the historical and also the real situation from one community to another would be different. Okay, it would be different. That is the idea of how we deal with how Islam deals with the LGBT sexual orientation.
Okay, thank you. Next is from Arisandi. Okay. Yes, please. Hello, can you hear me, Arisandi? Okay, or I just read his question. Good day, everyone. Arisandi here. I've ever heard that when it's come to Malam Satu Suro, elder people talk to don't go anywhere because there are so many bad things could be happen, especially to the beach or the ocean. Could you explain about the rational reason behind this phenomenon?
Okay, thanks, Arisandi, for the question. This is a kind of local wisdom within the local community, especially in Indonesia, because in many cases the elder people deliver their values to the next generation, to their children, not along with the idea, the vision. Sometimes because for them, values can be transmitted to the next generation with the practical experience, not with the explanation. I'll give an example. Why then the elder people say, don't go to the beach, don't go to the public square, for example, during the night of Malam of Satu Suro, because from their experiences in reality, if people come to if people come to one place, flocking to this place with different kind of expressions, with different kinds of ideas, with different kinds of purposes, then anything goes. No one can guarantee. So that is why the older people, to the best of my knowledge, the elder people do not deliver the ideas directly to their children. Sometimes they illustrate the danger, they illustrate the bad things with don't do that. Even though the millennial youth would say too many do's, too many don'ts, but the older people would say, yes, I'm going to say that, but I'm not saying that directly. I just give you an illustration, and also let's say like the ishar on the clue, just the clue. Don't do that. It's not good for you. Don't go there. It's not the bad thing would happen. Just to give an idea, to give a clue to the children that anything goes to that place. That will give you, let's say, that gives rise a danger to you. That's my response, Mr. Kamal.
Thank you. Next is from Marlon Mateo. Do you want me to read your question, or you want? Okay.
day, everyone. In
Yes,
relation to the food culture of the Islam with the celebration of the New Year, is there any specific kinds of food to be served and to be eaten by individuals to feel the essence of being an Islam? Like, for example, Filipinos have the so-called kakanin or the sticky rice in celebration for their New Year. In relation to the Islamic New Year, is there also a specific food that they will be to be considered they are Islam? Thank you.
thank you, Marlon.
Okay, good question, Marlon. I'm very happy with the question. You may refer to the short video the organizer of this meeting gives you about the Grebek Surah. Yeah, people flock into one place, and then they had a tumpeng. Tumpeng is kind of let's say what is a rice. You may have a rice. You may have sticky rice. Yeah, you may have sticky rice with the yellow color and the like. You may do googling about tumpeng in Indonesian culture. People may come to one place and then they share the meals, and then they like potluck, yeah, and then sharing the meals, and they have the meals all together in one place. And also people may have a specific food for the transition of Islamic New Year. Along with tumpeng, some local Muslim population, they have bubur. Local people say here bubur. Bubur is like courage. The bubur suro. People say bubur suro. Bubur is like a porridge. A porridge. You may a porridge, and then people put it different color of small parts of sticky rice. Yeah? And then it's tasty, it's sweet, and then people may have a cream within the porridge. And why then people produce porridge? They send an idea that the Islamic new calendar, Islamic New Year, should give you a new spirit of life, symbolized by the porridge, the white porridge, but you may have also different kinds of small sticky rice on it. So this is one of the quite popular foods produced and consumed by people in different parts of Indonesia, especially in Java and Sumatra. That's Mark. Thank you.
It seems that Marlon would like to respond something.
Hello po. Hello. It pertains to the culinary traditions and of course in the modernization of the recipes and culinary traditions, I mean. So definitely our culinary expertise have this so-called modernization of the recipes, as I have mentioned earlier. So definitely we the Islam has also, or it's possible that those recipes that you are serving in that particular Islamic New Year would be put into modernization, or let's say there will be changes in the appearances, in the aromas of the foods that they are serving.
Yeah, Marlon. The idea is that they're perceiving the specific culinary food, yeah, for the new Islamic calendar. And that is why they call bubur suro. Bubur suro is only produced in the transition of the day, yeah, within Islamic new calendar. You may the question is, can you find bubur suro, the porridge of suro outside the month of the initial month of Islamic New Year? You may find it, but they quite easily have it within the transition of Islamic New calendar. The question is, if you ask how then people modernize the culinary food of the white porridge of suro, for example, yes, but still the name is bubur suro, yeah, bubur suro, the suro porridge, okay, the suro porridge. But then people put let's say they top up chocolate, for example, put on the suro porridge, and sometimes they put on it was it the cakes, the small cakes on the suro porridge. It is kind of the idea how then people big modernize the producing of suro porridge.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, Mark Lauren.
Yes, hello.
You are okay. You're asking about the.
Yeah. I have a follow-up question regarding my first question, which is, what does the reason does the speaker sees which causes a divided views between Islam and non-Islam?
Yes, thank you. Professor Muzaki will. Can you hear his question, Prof?
Yeah, they share the idea, basically, they share the idea that there is something ultimate power that guides the life of person in the world. They share the idea, but they differ in understanding. They differ in capturing what is the ultimate power. Okay, what is the ultimate power? And these are the basic cause why then people differ in deciphering the ultimate power, and then becomes a different religion across the world, right? And for the organized religion, you may understand that Islam has been brought down in Saudi Arabia within Mecca and Medina, for example, and then coming and then expands to different regions, different areas of the world, coming to the China, for example, and also to the Southeast Asia, including Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, and also the Philippines, right? But then people in Southeast Asia, especially for the Malay ethnic groups, okay, Malay ethnic group, they share the idea about the religion. Then that is why the followers of Islam, for example, are shared by mostly people in Southeast Asia with Malay ethnic background. And the Philippines, in south part of Philippines, for example, in Thailand as well, southern part of Thailand, because they share the ethnic identity and also the religion. And Christianity, for example, even though it grew up, it initially developed in the Middle East, but then more massively developed in the West, and now the Christianity then also best represented by people in the Europe, and also in the States of America, especially let's say in the Western countries. So the idea of having an understanding that there is an ultimate power, everybody share this idea. But the difference is, how do you decipher, how do you understand, how do you depict the ultimate power? This is the initial part of the causes why then people differ in having religion, especially formal religion. Thanks, Pak Kamal.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, Prof. Zaki. I see here Alison. Are you ready with your question?
Yes. I have a question is on the Suro played earlier, which I didn't watch because I was still too afraid. Well, are the supernatural beings mentioned in Quran? I apologize for not knowing about Quran because I'm a Catholic. And if no, is the belief of it like going against the religion? Because in our law, some people believe in supernatural beings while following a certain religion that do not believe in such things. Sir?
Yes, thank you, Alison.
Okay, very good question, Alison. The Quran also suggests the supernatural beings, supernatural things, like angels, for example. Like angels, al-malak, al-malaika, angels, and also some others. Because in the initial part of the Quran, one of the verses says, you have to believe in the ghaib. In Arabic, al-ghaib. Al-ghaib means the unseen things, yeah, the unseen things, which are supernatural, including the angels, and also things to do with your destiny. Things to do with your destiny. When you pass away, for example, and then about the your salary, about things. That is why then people are endorsed to have an understanding that you need to be closer to your God, because there are a couple of things, there are many things you may not understand. There are many things you may not expect to do and the like. So better for you not only put your rationality as your priority, but also your belief in God, your belief in unseen things, supernatural ones, which are guided by Islam, which may differ from other religions. The Quran itself also suggested some supernatural beings, some supernatural things, which Muslims have to also believe in their lives. Okay.
The next is from Afila.
Yes. Hello. Good afternoon, sir. And I think my question is similar with Alison, but in like a different way. And I think we know that a lot of culture and local wisdom for local people, like a Japanese culture, we have a lot of. So how that Islamic teaching could fish with good until now, and that's it's be not following like a Islamic teaching itself. So I think that satu surah is always like with Satan or extra talk, but I think that's actually it's Islamic. So I think that is really confused by the Islamic and culture, how that is really good until now, and when it's, I think that's it. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Afila. The mythical things are not only predominantly a part of the Japanese belief, Japanese local traditions, but also people around the world share the same idea. They share the same idea. The question is, how did Islam sees the local tradition? Yeah? The local tradition. as long as it doesn't contradict to the basic teachings of Islam, you may have it. You may have it. But how then you express your idea to translate the Islamic teachings? People, Islam as a religion also gives you a room to do that. Say for example, why then Muslims in Indonesia having the black kufia, yeah, the black copia they have for having the prayer, but you can't find it in the Middle East because it's part of the culture. But for example, during the Satu Surah, the initial day or the transition time within the Islamic calendar, if you perform it, if you express your idea of how you celebrate the Islamic calendar in a good way, Islam would say, go ahead, for example. Even though you can't find the tumpengan, yeah, the food in the Middle East, but it's so locally growing here in Indonesia, Islam would say, no problem, go ahead. Okay, go ahead. As I mentioned in the previous presentation, it's completely like KFC and McDonald's. Can you find McDonald's or KFC in somewhere here in Indonesia selling nasi pecel? No. If they sell nasi pecel, that means they go out of their trademark because their trademark is fried chicken. Yeah. If somebody can find KFC or McDonald's selling rawon, yeah, rawon, please tell me. I will have it for you for free of charge within a month. Because if you sell rawon, that means they go out of their trademark because their trademark is selling fried chicken. So there is universality. There is also particularity. Universality is as long as you believe in one God, for example, a shahada, you perform the prayer, for example, you believe in the 5 pillars of Islam, you still Muslims. But in your day-to-day expressions, how to perform Islam, it depends on your local culture. As long as it doesn't contradict to basic teachings of Islam, Islam would say, go ahead. Thank you, Avila.
Thank you. The last question will be delivered by Karen.
Hello, sir. Good evening. So it's really good and amazing how the Muslim religion preserve its traditional and religious culture. And because these celebrations are venerated way back thousands of years ago, and it's still celebrated and observed up to this day. So I'm just curious, given that the generation today is becoming more modern and practicing traditional things, especially for the younger generation, is slowly declining. So my main question is, do you think modernization pose a challenge to the preservation of Muslim traditions?
Wow, very interesting question. Okay, I'll give you an idea like this. Thanks, Karen. This is very stimulating question, especially for millennial youth like you. Yeah, how then Muslims preserving their religion from time to time, but at the same time, how then globalization, modernization challenge their religion. I give an idea. KFC and McDonald's back to this franchise food. Yeah, KFC and McDonald's comes from the States, right? Comes from the States. But for local people in Indonesia, especially if you go to Surabaya, for example, if you go to Surabaya, then you make contact Ibu Fitri, the host, yeah, of international office, and then Ibu Fitri will take you around to Surabaya. If you go to Surabaya, for example, because for local people, McDonald's is for some still quite expensive. Yeah, still quite expensive. So the idea of globalizing of McDonald's Benjamin Barber would call it McDonaldization of culture around the world. But there is also localization, local process of localizing the globally into the local one. Then local people in Surabaya would say, having a meal in McDonald's is quite expensive for me. But I need still to have fried chicken like what people have in McDonald's. So what do they do then? They produce fried chicken similarly to McDonald's, but they sell, we call it here, a small vendor, street vendor across Surabaya. So I'll give you an example. Say, for example, if you have a meal in McDonald's and you have to spend 30,000 rupiah, yeah? But then in the local vendor, street vendor of fried chicken, you may have 10,000. Same fried chicken, yeah? Only 10,000, so only 1/3, yeah, of the price of McDonald's. So what I'm going to say is that even though there is a tendency of globalizing the global taste, the global culinary food, but still there is a local creativity to localize what is the global into the local taste, So this is a kind of the creativity of local population, how then they still can consume the fried chicken, but at the same time, they spend very much less money than what they have to spend for McDonald's. Yeah. So in terms of religion, for example, yes, they preserving their religion, but at the same time, they mix up their understanding of religion with the so modern kind of expression. Yeah, so modern kind of expression. So they mix up between, they preserve values of religion and also the modern kind of expression of their belief of religion. Thanks, Karen. Is that quite hard, Karen?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Karen.
Oh, well, do you have any closing remark, Prof. Zaki?
Thanks, Pak Kemal. We just learned from the way how then Islam, Muslims formulate the idea of Islamic calendar, and also how the local Muslims in different areas in Indonesia translate the idea of Islamic calendar into their local expressions of Islam. Then we see that Islam is not homogeneous. Islam is heterogeneous. People can have a different expressions of their belief in Islam with one certain condition. As long as you do not contradict the basic teachings of Islam, Islam would say, go ahead with that. And Islam also as a formal religion appreciates whatever the different situation in your real life. Even though you believe in different religion, Islam still appreciate, and also different ethnicity and other aspects of life. So the point is that unity in diversity is quite important in our life, and Indonesia gives the idea for us. Thanks, Pak Kemal. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thanks, Professor Muzaki. Appreciate for your insightful and informative presentation. Well, dear participant, let's now move to the next activity after very serious discussion. Okay. So we have now a fun activity of how far we have learned about the topic presented, but with a different perspective. We have small game. I see someone is ready there to deliver the activity. This game is to give you an insight about the connection between marine and Islamic activities. And this game is brought by the member of the Department of Marine Science. Mrs. Sasri, please lead the game.
Hello everyone, how are you today? Hope you're fine and in good health. So actually, I'm Asri Sauji from Marine Science Department, Sunan Ampel, Surabaya. Thank you for attending East Java Exploration 2020. And there's from, I heard there's from Philippine, Timor Timur, Singapore, where's from Australia? Is there someone from Australia? No? Okay. Okay, let's play the game. Please grab your mobile phone first. And please check the chat room and go to the kahoot.it. Kahoot.it. Oh, thank you. There is 3 people already joined. Wait a minute. Okay, you can see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Come on. Still waiting for you guys. Let's play the game. Yotepa, Dinar, Karen, Nadia, Lauren, Michelle, Allison, come in, right? Ganasuke, Natasha, Salsabila. Thank you. 14 people. 14 person come in. Still waiting? Meow. Meow. Jordan, thank you. Right, Lily. We will play some game, some quiz actually. Quiz, and we'll answer the question that actually is for me. That your question is for Professor Zaki, but I hope I can answer it after you play this game. It's about the ocean, yeah? It's about the ocean and the myth of the ocean during Satu Suro, Genius, Kathleen, thank you, Jillian. Still more? It says about 44%. Okay, can we play the game? Let's restart. Okay. See Thanksgiving and tide. First question, true or false? Moon's gravity affect the tide. True in the blue and false in the right hand. Moon's gravity affect the tide. True or false? True in the blue one, false in the right one. Okay, 23% say this is true. Yes, actually, yes, right? So the tide is affected by the moon's gravity. Lily, yeah, you are the fastest. Thank you. Next question. Without search on Marine Forecast website, I can predict when is the day of the highest tide of the month. Without search on Marine Forecast website, I can predict when is the day of the highest tide. Yes, you can. No, you can. Or are you kidding me? Or yes, I'm a fortune teller. Okay. Oh, yes, I can. 12% say, yes, you can. Yes, I can. Oh, there's no one that declared that you are a fortune teller. Okay, next one. Who's the winner of the second question? Meong. Thank you. The third question, in Islamic New Year, Fisher community of Indonesia does see Thanksgiving. So for their thankful to God. Did you ever see it or you never see it? This is like the picture of Petik Laut, or we call it local people in here said Petik Laut or see Thanksgiving ceremony. Did you ever see it or never see it? Okay, wow, it's sin. Say, okay, you ever see it? Good. Who is the winner? Meong, wow. Okay, next one. In the first month of Islamic calendar, there are not many fish in the sea. Do you believe that in the first month in Islamic calendar, there are not many fish in the sea? Is it a myth or, yeah, I'm not sure. Click on the left hand if it's a myth, or the right hand if you not sure about that. 17% say it's myth. Okay. Next one. What's the winner? What's the winner? Okay. Okay. Wait. Meong still number one. After Thanksgiving Day, fishermen will again get a lot of fish. And the previous question said that there's no fish in the sea in the Muharram. But after the Thanksgiving Day, fishermen will again get a lot of fish. Do you think so, or this is just a myth? Okay, it's quite interesting. 10% says yes. You do think so? Fishermen catch fish while they're hang out, right? Okay. Next, where's the winner? Still Meong, right? But dinner is come up. Last question. See Thanksgiving attract fish to eat the food and call their friend to come. Is it a myth or yes, absolutely, because they hang out together while eating food, yeah? Because in the Sikh Thanksgiving, there are many food that deploy from this ceremony or procession. Is it a myth or yes, because they eat the food? Is this a myth? Okay, good. Who's the winner of this quiz? The third is Dinar. Congratulations. The second is Allison. And the winner of today is Patrick. Wow, 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 wow. Congratulations, congratulations. Okay. Okay, so what do you think about that? This is the explanation. Just like professors like say that there's a myth or and also the culture that Indonesian do during the Islamic day or the surah, we call it surah, is also the same with Muharram. So there are several procession or ceremony that the fisher or coastal community do during that month. So the first is a tricky question, but almost all of you said there is moon's gravity is affect the tide. Yes, they're very right. So the tide, rise and fall of the sea level caused by the combined effect of the gravitational forces exerted by the moon and sun and the rotation of the earth, right? And because the Islamic calendar is also the lunar calendar. Islamic calendar is also the lunar calendar. So that is why local community over here, especially the fishermen, fishers. I don't want to be like a gender. Fishers, not fishermen. Fishers say they can predict when is the highest tide of the sea and also the highest wave of the sea. So that's why they I see the question, I forgot what's the name, said that why people in Indonesia there is don't go to the sea, to the ocean during the New Year Eve. For the marine science knowledge, because this is the first month, the first day of the month. It is a new moon. The new moon. What is the phenomenon of the new moon? So that this in the sea there's a highest tide, and also the fluctuation of the wave is also higher than usual. So maybe that is why. So please don't go to the sea during this new moon and also the full moon. And today, actually, 1st October is full moon. You can go to your outside your house and see the beautiful moon. Yesterday, I go outside and see there's a beautiful moon in this outside my house. So today, don't go to the sea because there is highest wave and also the highest tide of the month. And yes, and also the new moon is in the 17th October until 19. So the 13, 14, and 15 day of the month is a full moon. So please don't go to the sea. I'm a lecturer, so and also I conduct the diving class. So I will choose the day to go to the sea with there's no full moon and new moon, because it's very dangerous for us to go to the sea during that day. So, and the next one about sea Thanksgiving. This is very interesting. See this video. This is a situation about the ceremony of sea Thanksgiving. People and the coastal community come to sea with their boat, their ship. This is courtesy by YouTube, yeah. You can see the boot. There's a coconut. There's a fruit over there, coconut, banana, and some others. And sometimes it's also tumpeng. Tumpeng is a rice, it's sticky rice that like a cone rice with a yellow rice that they built like a cone. The people come together and deploy the ship, miniature of the boat that carry out the food.
there is a little problem with the internet connection of Miss Asri. So then I would like to show you a collaborative video prepared by the Department of Religious Studies and the Department of Islamic Philosophy. This one.
Salah satu perguruan tinggi Islam negeri yang bertempat di Jalan Ahmad Yani, Wonocolo, Surabaya ini menyediakan program studi agama-agama atau yang kita sebut sebagai SAA, yang mana program studi ini berkaitan erat dengan fenomena kemajemukan beragama. Program studi yang berdiri sejak tahun 1974 dan berada di bawah naungan Fakultas Usuluddin dan Filsafat ini diselenggarakan dengan menggunakan pendekatan saintifik kritis dan berbagai metode yang mengombinasikan antara studi teoritis dan praktis. Program riset yang dikembangkan pada program studi ini menjangkau mulai dari isu-isu keagamaan normatif hingga praktik keagamaan dalam kehidupan sehari-hari dengan semangat penghormatan atas berbagai tradisi keagamaan. Indonesia adalah negara yang sangat plural. Agama merupakan komponen terpenting bagi kehidupan manusia. Di Indonesia sendiri, kemajemukan agama merupakan suatu hal yang lumrah, mengingat Indonesia adalah negara yang heterogen. Tetapi, perlu kita ketahui bahwa setiap perbedaan pasti berkecenderungan mengalami interpretasi yang berbeda. Lalu bagaimana sih dengan prospek karir dari mahasiswa program studi agama-agama ini? Yang pertama, kita bisa menjadi peneliti muda. Kemudian yang kedua, yakni fasilitator pergamanan. Kemudian yang ketiga, pekerja sosial. Serta yang terakhir, entrepreneur keagamaan. Kemudian, program studi agama dalam rangka mengembangkan kemampuan.
Program studi Akidah dan Filsafat Islam adalah salah satu program studi yang ada di Fakultas Usuluddin dan Filsafat UIN Sunan Ampel, Surabaya. Program studi Akidah dan Filsafat Islam memfokuskan kegiatannya pada kajian ilmu akidah dan filsafat Islam dalam rangka mempersiapkan mahasiswa sebagai calon akademisi dan pendidik bidang keilmuan akidah dan filsafat Islam. Ilmuwan yang bisa memerankan fungsi pendidik atau pengajar non-formal bidang keilmuan akidah dan filsafat Islam dan atau peneliti bidang keilmuan akidah dan filsafat Islam.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ada 3 disiplin ilmu yang ditawarkan di dalam program studi akidah dan filsafat Islam UIN Sunan Ampel, Surabaya. Yang pertama adalah akidah dan teologi Islam, yang kedua filsafat Islam, yang ketiga adalah filsafat barat. Ketiga komponen ilmu ini diharapkan bisa menghasilkan calon-calon tenaga pendidik Muslim profesional dan memiliki keahlian dalam bidang akidah dan filsafat Islam.
Mrs. Asri, are you there?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry because it suddenly blacked out of my home.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Okay,
City
please
problem. Yes,
go on.
I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. Okay, can I continue? All right. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry about. Okay. So there's already shared the video, right? So this is the explanation actually about the petik laut. We call it in the local in bahasa. Local people say it's petik laut. Petik is picking. Laut is ocean. So petik laut ceremony is celebrated during the Islamic New Year or in the first month of Islamic calendar. And Muharram or Suro, you can watch that trailer film Satu Suro. It means the first Muharram, first day of Muharram, is a sacred month for Muslim, and it carried out to express the gratitude to God. And in the Thanksgiving procession, there is a first recitation activity to thanks to God for all the blessed mercies. And this ceremony is also carried out to honor our ancestor who have taught how to catch fish properly in the ocean. And some fishers in Indonesia believe that in Muharram month, there are not many fish that they could catch before they do the Thanksgiving ceremony. So they believe that it's a must for them, for coastal community, especially the fishers, to deliver the food to the ocean. And sometimes, coincidentally, yes, maybe the luck is also not to them. I ever come to the coastal community and said, yes, there's no many fish during the Muharram. And yes, this is questionable. Is this a myth or not? The community that reciting the verse or dua, they have an intention deep inside their mind to expect to get many fish in this year. Based on the law of attraction theory, the belief that positive and negative thoughts bring also positive and negative experience into a person's life. So please be aware of your mind. Yes, the belief is based on the idea that people and their thoughts are made from pure energy. And that process of like energy attract energy. The energy of your mind is attract in your surrounding. And also based on the research that we've done, reciting a certain verse and also plus the intention of our mind that's treated in some samples of the seawater, it could influence the different reaction to the growth of the bacteria colony. As we know, the bacteria is also the food to the fish. Okay. That's all. For further sea tasking phenomena, please come visit and learn in marine science in Sunan Ampel. Thank you. Any question?
Yes, dear participant, if you have any question left, you can write down your question on the chat box or just speak up on your mic.
Do you have a question, guys? I see the 13% said that they ever see the petik laut, sea Thanksgiving ceremony. Is it only Philippine, Singapore, or Thailand? There is also that kind of culture or not? We share.
Okay, maybe someone is from Thailand. Do you have any experience from your country about the sea festival?
There's a question from Mark Lauren Villaverde. What is the basis of the myth and what do this myth teach us? Yeah, actually, this I ever heard from my friend. This is he's a Hindu. He's a Hindu, and he said that Thanksgiving actually teach by their ancestor that please we are in the earth. Please say thanks for all the fish that we catch and bring it back to the sea. It's just like that. So this is like so say thanks to your friend. Maybe just I treat them very good. I treat them in a good way. This is the same to the coastal community. So this is their way to say thanks. Thank you for feeding me. Thank you for giving me a food. So also I bring it back because from also the research that we've done, the food that we deploy to the sea is also have a good treatment. It's not a blooming because it's just one day of the blooming alga. I meant, yeah, blooming alga. There's a harmful of blooming alga in the sea, but no, because it's just one day, and this is very good to treat nitrate or nitrate of the sea. So it will be a good parameter to the oceanographically or in some others. Thank you. Is there any next question? Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Mark Lauren, for your question. Another question? If there is no question, we can move to the next activity. Okay. Okay, I think alles klar. Alles klar. Well, thank you, Mrs. Asri. And we are going to demonstrate the application of Islamic calendar combining with the Javanese calendar. And here we at UINSBY basically have some expert in such field. They are from the Department of Astronomy. In Arabic, we call it Falak. Falak sound like a movie title, like different meaning. Falak mean in Arabic, Falak mean astronomy. So at our university, we have a Department of Astronomy and also from the Department of Mathematics. I would like to invite Natasha, student from the Department of Mathematics, to show you the application. Please. Oh yeah, beforehand, we will show you a visual of the application.
However, there are no less important things than their primary need. It's called the calendar. The various important events in human life, which start from birth until death, are all recorded in calendar numbers so that they can easy to remember. In Indonesia, there are 3 types of calendar: the Gregorian calendar, the Hijri calendar, and the Javanese Islamic calendar. The 3 types of calendar have different characteristics. The Gregorian calendar is based on the circulation of the earth around the sun. Meanwhile, the Hijri calendar and the Javanese calendar are based on the circulation of the moon around the earth. The Gregorian calendar, as we know, has 12 months. There are January, February, March until December. Whereas the Hijri calendar has 12 months too. There are Muharram, Safar, Rabiul Awal, Rabiul Tsani, Jumadil Ula, Jumadil Akhirah, Rajab, Sya'ban, Ramadan, Syawal, Dzulqa'dah, and Dzulhijjah. And the Javanese calendar has 12 months too. There are Suro, Safar, Maulud, Ba'da Maulud, Jumadil Awal, Jumadil Akhir, Rajab, Ruah, Pasah, Sawal, Selo, and Besar. Other than that, the Javanese calendar has 2 days cycle, including the weekly cycle consisting of 7 days, Monday to Sunday, and the Pancawara week cycle consisting of 5 Pasarans day, including Legi, Pahing, Pon, Wage, and Kliwon. As a Muslim and Javanese, sometimes we only know the date of birth based on the Gregorian calendar without knowing the date of birth based on the Hijri and Javanese calendar. This is because in general there is only AD calendar without the Hijri and Javanese calendar. The Hijri calendar is a calendar that began when Prophet Muhammad moved from Mecca to Medina. Determination of the start of the day and date on the Hijri calendar is different from the Gregorian calendar. In the Gregorian calendar system, a day or date start at 12 AM local time, whereas in the Hijriya calendar system, the day or date start when the sun rises. The Hijriya calendar is a calendar that is held by Muslims based on the movement of the month or Qamar, which is called the Qamariya calendar or the Hijriya calendar. The Hijri calendar itself is built on the average of the synodic cycles of the moon. Using the lunar synodic cycles, the number of days in the year is 12 times 30 days equal to 355 days. This is what explains that 1 year on the Hijri calendar is about 11 days shorter than 1 year on the Gregorian calendar. To avoid the occurrence of fraction of days, it is determined that the age of the month is 30 days and there are 29 days. For odd month are 30 days, while even month are 29 days, except for the 12th Dzulhijjah in leap age 30 days. And that's enough for explanation of the Hijri calendar. Now let's go to the application to convert the Gregorian calendar to Hijri calendar. Let's go!
This is the Hijriya application. This application is to make it easier to find out what Pasaran's day. It can converting AD to the Hijri year as well as the conversion from the Hijri year to the Gregorian year from the past and the future without dismantling old documents or compiling a new calendar. First, after the application was opened, an image will appear as shown in figure 1. This is the image. The bottom part of the display is the date when the application was opened. I opened this application on 28 September 2020. In the Hijriya calendar, this day is 11 Safar 1442. And then in the initial display, there is the word pilih tanggal or selected date. And edit the text at the bottom of the select date. Edit text is used to input the Gregorian date to be converted. When the edit text section is clicked, a calendar will appear as shown in figure 2. This is the calendar. And then in the calendar has left and right arrow button. When the left arrow button has clicked like this, it will show the date in the previous month, or August is the previous month of September. And then when you click the right button, it will show the next month. And then if you want to convert the date, you just choose whatever you want. Today is 1st October. I will convert converting today to the Hijri and Javanese calendar. Okay, are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Voila! This is it! Today is 1st October 2020. In the Hijri calendar, today is 14 Safar 1442. Or in the Javanese calendar, today is Jumat Kliwon. It's cool, right? You can converting whatever you want. You can converting your anniversary, your birthday, your friend's birthday in the Hijri calendar or in the Javanese calendar. Okay, that's enough from me. Thank you for watching. I hope you like it. Bye-bye. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Yeah. Natasha, you want to show us the application, all the audience?
Okay. Hi everyone. Good day. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Natasha. I'm from Department of Mathematics, Sunan Ampel, Surabaya. I would like to show you not just a video. This is the real application, and I will show you now. Yeah, this is the application. And I will randomly choose one of you to tell me the date of birth. And the lucky person is Karen Otanes. Karen Otanes, would you like to give me your date of birth?
Hello, Karen. Are you there?
Hello, Karen.
Hello, sorry, I'm having problem with my internet connection.
Okay.
Okay. Would you like to give me your date of birth so I can convert it to the Hijri and Javanese calendar?
Yes, so I was born in September 4th, 1999.
Okay, September 4th, 1990. Okay, are you ready? 1,
Yes.
2, 3. Yeah, you just born in Jumadil Awal 24th, 1420 Hijri. So when you just have friends Muslim, just tell them, I was born on Jumadil Awal 24th, 14 to 20 in Hijri, and you were born in Rabu Pahing. This is the Javanese calendar, okay? Or in the Java, you just born on Rabu Pahing. Yes. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you.
And
Rabu is Wednesday, huh?
Yeah. Yes, that's
You were
right.
born on Wednesday. Is that right, Karen?
Okay, next, I want Archinuch Keshashana. Are you there? From
Shashana.
Thailand. Archinuch Keshashana. Are you there?
Hello, from Thailand.
From Thailand.
You can choose another one.
Okay, I will choose Mark. Is there? Oh, Mark Lauren.
Hello, Mark.
Yes, hello.
Hello, Mark.
Yeah, you are selected by
Can you tell me your date of birth, please?
I was born on June 2, 2000.
Okay. June 2. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, you were born on Safar 29, 1421 Hijri, and you were born on Jumat Wage. Jumat is Friday. Okay. By the way, you're from Philippines, right?
Yes, I am from the Philippines.
I'm just curious that is it right that Prince Martin, am I right? Prince Martin is the most handsome guy on your country. Is it right?
I am not really updated with who is the most handsome here in the Philippines.
Oh, but he's so viral in my country.
The most handsome is Mark itself.
Okay, I get it.
Okay, Mark, you in Islamic calendar, you were born in 29 Safar, yeah, 29 Safar, and in Japanese calendar, you were born in Friday, Wage.
Wow.
You can share it to your friends.
And your friend will be proud of you. Of course. Okay, thank you everyone. That's I think that's the cool thing that you can converting any date, any important date on your life in Hijri and Japanese. So you can just your friend just proud of you that you know your birthday, for example, in Hijri and Japanese. Okay, that's all for me. Thank you, everyone.
Question, Natasha.
What? Yes.
Is the program available free?
No, this is yes, this is free, but you have to have the application. The application name is PyCharm or Python.
Okay, can you please write down the name of the application on the chat box so everybody here can access or download to have this.
Okay. Okay, I will write it later. Now I will end my session. And thank you everyone. Nice to meet you all. Goodbye. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Natasha, for sharing with us her application of the Islamic calendar and the Japanese calendar conversion. Now, we'd like to show you the last visual video from the Department of Islamic Astronomy. Before we end the session. Yes, please. Can you please play the video?
Welcome to Indonesia. Welcome to the State Islamic University of Sunan Ampel, Surabaya. One of the departments at Sunan Ampel, Surabaya is Ilmu Falak Department, which is under the Faculty of Sharia and Law. Ilmu Falak Department, or better known as Islamic Astronomy, is a department that is still rare in Indonesia. As the name implies, this department studies astronomy, which is used for Muslim, including knowing the directions of Qibla, determining the beginning of prayer time, determining the beginning of Qamariah month, determining the calendar of Islam, and determining the timing of eclipse, both lunar and solar. In general, the whole object of Ilmu Falak is closely related to the activities of counting and observation. These two activities are very visible when linked to the determinations of the beginning of Qamariah month or Islamic calendar. The Islamic calendar is an astronomic calendar where its determinations is based on celestial bodies' orbit, namely the orbit of the moon around the sun. Therefore, the number of days in Hijriah calendar varies according to the actual positions of the moon. in contrast to the Masehi calendar, which has a fixed number of the days because it includes a mathematical calendar. In determining the beginning of Qamariah month to make the Islamic calendar, at least two activities must be carried out, namely Hisab and Ruqyah. Hisab is an activity to calculate the positions of the moon and the sun to the earth. This activity is to determine the positions of the hilal when the sun sets at the end of the Hijri month seen from somewhere on the earth. Meanwhile, Ru'yah is an activity to observe the appearance of the young hilal at the end of the Hijri month as a sign of the change of the month in the Islamic calendar. If the hilal can be seen by the one who did Ru'yah, then a swearing will be carried out by the religious court, and then it will be reported to the Ministry of Religions as material to determine the first of the Islamic month through the Itsbat session. For example, to determine the verse of Shawwal, it is necessary to calculate the positions of new moon when the sun sets on the 29th of Ramadan. If the hilal is already above the horizon with a visible height, then tomorrow is determined as the first of Shawwal. However, if the hilal is still under of the horizon or is above the horizon but cannot be seen, tomorrow is determined as the 30th of Ramadan. That is the procedure that must be followed in determining the beginning of the Qamariah month. In the Hisab itself, many calculations methods that can be used to determine the positions of the moon. There are criteria that are urfi, hakiki, hakiki tahkiki, and contemporary. Each of them has a different accuracy. Contemporary Hisab is the calculation that has the highest accuracy. Meanwhile, in Ru'yah, there are several methods of observations. Among them, using the eye directly, using a tool such as telescope. There are those who record the observations process then do image processing. Some also use remote observations. Each of them has advantages and disadvantages. However, this should not make Muslim different in determining the beginning of the Qamariah month, because Hisab and Ru'yah are two methods that are mutually related to each other, and the ultimate goal is to know the appearance of the new moon as a sign of the change in the beginning of Qamariah month. In Ilmu Falak department, various kinds of Hisab and Ru'yah methods will be studied by the students. Not only that, students will also get experience doing direct observations, including Ru'yatul Hilal, eclipse observations, observing callacious objects, measuring qiblah directions, and making prayer time schedules.
Okay, well, dear all participants, we are close to the end, and that's all for today. And thank you very much for joining this program for the almost 3 hours. We hope you learn many things from what we have presented. I am as a moderator. Thanks for your active participation. We hope to see you again. Bye-bye. I give it back the floor to Miss Alia.
Okay, thank you very much for Pak Kamal. Excellency, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. Well, now we step on the last agenda, that is closing. But before we close our agenda today, I beg all of you, all the participants here, to turn your camera on because we will have a photo sessions together. Dear all participants, please turn your camera on because we will have photo sessions together. Our operator will count from 1 to 3, then it will be moved to the next slide. Please turn your camera on. Okay, for the operator, please.
Okay. Kurang.
Are you ready, operator?
Yes.
Please count from 1 to 3.
We still have a blank screen. Please, everyone, turn on your camera.
Please turn your camera on, dear all participants.
One, two, three. Smile.
Okay, thank you. Next slide. Don't forget to give your best smile on the camera.
One, two, three.
Okay, thank you. Is it the last slide, Mas Naval?
No, it's only 2 slides. It's done. It's done, thank you. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for Mas Naval as the operator. Okay, Excellency, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. Finally, we step on our last agenda, that is closing. Let's close our today's agenda by reading Hamdalah together. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Thank you very much for joining our agenda today, and see you on the next East Java exploration.
Bye-bye. Bye, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, everyone, and see you. You can leave our room.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Pak, itu sudah selesai, sudah keluar semua partisipan kayaknya. Belum.